Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Church of Chonkwij podcast. I am your host, DrNiggle, and I'm joined by the lovely people, Masami, OmegaConstruct, Eliteness, and Zero Burn. And
Names you
we
cannot
are...
remember.
Names I have to pause so that I can mute mod mode in the stream chat. Because this is a professional goddamn operation.
You bet your buns it is.
Anyway, thank you everybody for being here tonight. How's Trix?
Trix
That good! Alrighty. So, something that we have talked about on podcasts before is the ongoing lawsuit between Apple and Epic. For anyone who is not in the know by now, Apple is mad at Epic because Epic put in a way through Fortnite for people to pay Epic directly for glitter and therefore cut out Apple and their 30% cut. So Apple got so mad about it that they booted Fortnite off of the Apple Store, and they also got a little bit vindictive, trying to take off developer tools or suspending developer accounts for Epic subsidiaries and things like the Unreal Engine on the Apple Store as well. So there have been some developments, some updates in that particular case this week, and namely, a judge threw out a side suit that Apple had going. This is not directly connected to the main lawsuit that Apple has against Epic, but a side suit whereby Apple tried to claim that Epic was thieving from them. Essentially, they claimed that the money which Epic made from the microtransactions through Fortnite, 30% of that money belonged to them, and they were holding it, keeping it from Apple, tantamount to thieving. And a judge heard both sides of this argument, and Epic's argument was basically that the amount of money here is in dispute of another lawsuit. That lawsuit is undecided. They haven't gone forward with it. It's going to take a while. So this is entirely premature, and there's no foundation for this kind of suit. And the judge agreed and dismissed the case, telling Apple that they were very definitely on the losing side of this argument.
Sounds like a matter of scope to me, because I feel like Apple would actually have a valid argument to say that any money that Epic made in direct payments through the Fortnite app, while the Fortnite app was on the App Store and was therefore violating the terms of being on the App Store, then they would be entitled to sue for that. Any money that the app has made since it was removed from the App Store for violating those terms, you've got no room for that. They've got no room to claim that. But trying to say that all of that money is theirs, that's just not what the law, that's not what the law says.
Well, here's the thing. Epic direct payments are still available on the iOS version of the game for people who downloaded it before the App Store removed Fortnite. So they're lumping in the money that Epic is continuing to make with the money that they think they were supposed to make.
Well, and that's sort of my point, is that I almost feel like at this point, that's the error in Apple's complaint here, because they're basically asking for too much, because once the app was removed from the App Store, then it's no longer violating the App Store's terms because it's been removed from the App Store. So, if Apple wants to go through and remotely delete the app from their users' phones to prevent Epic from doing it, that'd be, sure. But if Apple's going to allow people to have the app on their phone, then, regardless of whether or not it's available in the App Store, then Epic can do whatever they want in it.
So,
I mean, that would make sense. That and I agree that anything pre them removing it from the App Store, they would be I believe they should be entitled to. Anything post them removing it, nah. Sorry.
Well,
you
and
get
the whole
no
thing
money.
is they're going to court right now to determine. Well, that's one of the things they will eventually determine is whether or not Epic was in the right to be able to circumvent the Apple Store's 30% cut. And depending on what the main case finds, that will probably be part of the decision. And then Apple could have gone forward with something like this. So yeah, Omega. Oh no, Omega. You said matter of scope. I say premature.
Yeah, it's both. Especially the second claim that they made in these countersuits that one of them just got denied was that Epic's decision was quote how do they say it? It was direct intentional interference with Apple's legitimate business. And well, yes, it directly was. It absolutely was intentional interference. But as the judge said, that's basically the main case here. So it's not a separate instance that you can counterclaim for. Like, that is the main basis of this whole case here. So it's just the legal process played itself out. Each side is trying to play ticky-tack in the lead up to the big event, and try and get little wins and little pulling little bits and pieces here or there. But at the end of the day, any little counterclaims or motions that they make now, it's only going to determine how things happen until the big case happens, and that's really where the issues will be decided. Everything before then is just kind of theater, honestly.
But it's interesting theater.
Watching these guys go back and forth. I do like how Apple. Well, I'm gonna try to find the quote here. From the Apple attorneys. Although Epic portrays itself as a modern corporate Robin Hood, in reality, it is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that simply wants to pay nothing for the tremendous value it derives from the App Store. That's kind of true, and I think it's kind of fucking hilarious.
100%. And that's something I said from day one. Like, when this first hit, one of my positions was like, and the same thing in the arguments we've had in the past over Steam versus Epic Game Store and the cut that different people take. There's an immense value given to video game developers through these marketplaces. The App Store, the Google Play Store, Steam, all these different platforms for selling their goods take away so much responsibility that they would otherwise have to handle themselves. And there is real value there. And so as funny as I think it is that Apple's counterclaims got slapped down, I do think that, like, there are things that Apple's saying that are absolutely right. I mean, there are also things that Epic is saying that are absolutely right, too.
I also said that. I was day one, the greedy corporations going back and forth. It's just like, it's two multi-billion-dollar companies going after each other. So it's fun for us to watch, but I mean, ultimately, they're just vying for who can make more money.
Oh, for sure.
Fucking greedy.
For sure. I mean, again, like I've said from the beginning, the interesting thing about the result of this case isn't going to be whether or not Epic is allowed to do what they are trying to do. The interesting thing is going to be if this completely changes the economy and landscape of these type of game platforms.
Right.
For instance, like, we play Warframe and we got Warframe through Steam. What if Steam had in their terms of service, that all purchases need to be done through the Steam store interface?
Well, here's the funny thing about that. If you've ever bought Prime accessories or Prime Vault or whatever stuff like that, I mean, I have it through Steam. All my transactions for everything go through Steam. So I'm sure that Steam is getting a cut when I buy a Prime accessory pack. I'm sure that Steam is getting a cut when I buy Platinum with a 75% off coupon. I'm absolutely sure that they are getting a cut of that. But I've never tried to buy anything like with the Warframe launcher installed through Discord. I know that you can do that. I know that you can actually download a standalone Warframe installation. And
you can't do the Discord one anymore. They discontinued their gaming program.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there a story behind that?
No, there might be, but I didn't go looking for it.
Gotcha.
I mean, you could literally go on warframe.com/prime access and like select payment method, PayPal, MasterCard, Visa. Like you could just buy it straight through Warframe.
Yeah. Okay. So you can go straight through them, or you can go straight through Steam.
Well,
So I don't know. Maybe the deal is, well, okay, no, wait. It is the same argument here, because when people install Fortnite through the Apple Store and they do a transaction, the Apple Store wants their cut. If I install Warframe through Steam, Steam wants their cut if I'm playing it on Steam or anything like that. I've never actually tried to circumvent them and buy something directly through the website. I'm not even sure if.
Well, but here my point is that Steam doesn't have that in their. Like, that's obviously just not a part of Steam's ecosystem. Like, I can just straight up buy shit from Warframe on warframe.com, and it'll be added to my in-game profile. So Steam clearly doesn't have that restriction in their terms of service, where instead they just say, yeah, we'll offer you this service if you want to take it, and we'll take a cut, but you're welcome to try and do your own thing. So it's the result of this case. I think if Epic wins, it would basically bring the App Store and with it the Google Play Store, really what we're talking about here is the entire mobile gaming landscape. It'll bring it onto the same footing as the way the PC marketplace works.
Wait, Linus, were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say, well, I mean, a lot of people will use their Steam wallets as well as a means of paying for things, and that's where the Steam gets their money, is because people load their Steam wallet and use that to pay for games and add-ons and things like that, rather than having to go through someone else's service.
Right, and that's what I have to, if I ever get an accessory pack or buy Platinum or something, I have to load my Steam wallet first, and then I use those funds to pay.
And I mean, people also try and make money on Steam by selling stuff in order to eventually buy games very slowly, but technically you could do it.
I sell a lot of trading cards.
I mean, I guess if you did like CSGO stuff and sold a knife for like $300,000 or something like that.
How the fuck is that a market? It's a thriving market on Steam.
Yeah,
Go to
it
the
is.
marketplace and look at the top trades. It's always CSGO. I don't understand why people pay that much money for knife skins.
Shiny knife.
Same reason why people pay so much for Beanie Babies.
Have you seen gameplay footage of CSGO though? Like 90% of the time, it's them running around with their knives out.
It's like I paid $80 for this knife skin. I'm gonna make the world see it.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna stare at something long and shafty in your hand for long periods of time, you might as well put something you like.
Team Fortress 2 was doing the same thing with hats before CSGO was a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. People will pay stupid money for digital bullshit. I mean, that's how The Sims exists.
Factual statement.
I'm not proud of that.
What is the total amount it costs to actually
Doc, have you ever paid for any of The Sims?
My lawyer has advised me not to answer that question.
That's probably for the best.
Fair response, and I will take that as I believe it was intended.
So, Linus, were you going to ask what it actually costs to buy The Sims 4 and all the DLC?
Yeah, all of the DLC. Let's see.
Yeah, it's on Steam. There was a sale a while ago where it dropped down to $450.
Oh, it's only $764.63 for all of the DLC.
That's a drop in the bucket. That's fine.
I mean, holy fuck, no!
Did I just feel my asshole tighten when that happened? When you said that? Jesus Christ!
There are actually people that have and that's the thing too. The DLC is it's what do I want to say? It's scattered out, or there's a word for it. I forget.
$20 to unlock spas.
Yeah, they do. And the DLC comes out months apart, so people are just like, oh yeah, like $40 for the next 3 months. That's not that much money. And then after a couple of years, yeah, it's $750.
$19.99 for the spa day pack.
You can still buy the
do
Sims
yoga and get massages.
You can still buy the Sims 3 and all the DLC for that for like $400.
God.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Sims 3 was a pretty good game. I like the soundtrack of Sims 3 better than I like the soundtrack of Sims 4.
Okay, so cats and dogs costs $40 in Sims 4.
Why?
Egregious!
Because dogs are cute.
It costs $40 to make your own pets, to customize your pets and bond with them. You can become a vet and run a clinic.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
Oh, and it unlocks the coastal shores of Brindleton Bay.
Oh my God!
Sims and your pets can live and enjoy outdoor activies.
It's a rich scale neighborhood where only white Sims live.
Oh Jesus! Okay, yeah, I'm glad that this podcast is open and free. It makes me feel good.
Look. All right, Sims is an inherently racist game. I said it.
Soul.
Does that sound like something that not a white person would say?
I mean,
oh my God.
Huh?
Next topic?
Yeah, let's
actually wait, no, there's a little add-on here to the Fortnite story.
Oh God.
There is, we can segue into this. So, despite the whole point of the Apple lawsuit is that they took Epic off, or they took Fortnite off of the iOS store. Now, thanks to NVIDIA cloud streaming, people might be able to play Fortnite on the iOS store anyway. So the way that NVIDIA has set this up, they have a cloud service, cloud streaming, so you can play games. You don't need a phone or a PC or whatever you want that's capable of playing, has the hardware to play a game anymore. You just need to be able to handle streaming, and you can play games from basically remotely. So this cloud streaming service, which has its own app on the iOS store, is offering Fortnite, or will be offering Fortnite.
It says you can just do it straight up through Safari browser.
Yeah, you can.
It's literally just through the Safari browser that people are going to be able to play Fortnite on their iPhones. And the funny thing is, this is going to be true regardless of the outcome of the lawsuit. If Apple wins their this lawsuit, people are still going to be able to play it using NVIDIA's mobile or whatever the fuck that shit's called.
Jesus Christ, I don't know.
Streaming.
I'm not sure what the net worth of Epic is compared to NVIDIA, but I guarantee you NVIDIA's net worth is way, way more. So Apple wants to take on NVIDIA over this shit. That would be another free-for-all.
Oh, I would laugh my balls off if that happened.
Hey, more corporations taking out other corporations. Yay.
That's really a crazy thought. Like, if Apple...
Is Apple even capable of kicking NVIDIA in the balls?
No, well, but, like, how could they? Because they're separate services. Like, Apple would have no recourse against NVIDIA here legally. The only recourse they could have would be, like, petty corporate recourses, like refusing to do business with them or some bullshit like that. But, like, there would be no contractual reason. Like, if NVIDIA's cloud streaming is accessible on the internet, and your iPhone has a Safari browser that lets you browse the internet, there's no business relationship there between NVIDIA and Apple. That's just a consumer on their Apple device that allows them to browse the internet, going to an internet site, and Apple can't stop that unless they make the decision to block their phones from accessing the website.
There you go. Yeah, I was going to say, in a PC system, we have something called the hosts file that you can, if you're clever, you can find. And that file is responsible for all the domains. It actually has the capability of blocking domains' IP addresses so that your computer can't access them. Apple must have something similar to that. So yeah, you just take whatever IP range that the cloud streaming service uses, you slap it into there, and your iPhone can no longer access the streaming services.
There's no way in hell Apple would ever do that. Like, they're not going to restrict the entirety of their user base from playing any games on this other service, like that doesn't really have anything to do with them, out of a petty argument over Fortnite with a third party who's like not even like. That would be so absurd that there's no way Apple would ever win that in the court of public opinion.
Well, no, I mean, that's the thing. I see it as a dick measuring. That's the last measure in a dick measuring contest between Apple and NVIDIA. Apple says, "Dear NVIDIA, please stop offering Fortnite through your streaming services for Apple users because we banned them from our store, and let's just say we won that lawsuit." And NVIDIA's like, "No." And yeah, then what does Apple do? If it's the last step in a dick measuring contest, just block that streaming service. And I don't know if they do it or not. I can only imagine. If it made them money, they would do it.
I think that if they did do it, it would be on new devices going forward. Like patching the old devices to get that on there would be excessive and unpopular. But going forward on new devices, there's not really a lot you can do because everyone wants the hot new iPhone.
Nah, but there's no way that they could get away with that. They would be sued into oblivion because they would be selectively that would be them selectively censoring the internet, and nobody would stand for that.
Oh yeah,
nobody would stand for that.
It's legal now. We have no more net neutrality.
I'm not saying whether or not it's legal. I'm saying whether or not consumers would stand for that. Like, consumers wouldn't stand for that. Gaming companies wouldn't stand for that. Like, I feel like if Apple did that, like, they would have a million games just pull out of the App Store. Like, that would be the most anti-consumer, anti-gaming thing that they could possibly do. So I almost even refuse to acknowledge it as an actual possibility other than, like, a severe hypothetical. I would be so amazed if they made that horrible decision.
I'd tell them to do it. Just
it would be hilarious. Yeah, it would be fucking All right. Let's switch from Apple and head over to Microsoft. Got some interesting stories out of them. We've talked a lot recently about how Microsoft bought up Bethesda, and along with a lot of other studios at the same time. And some funny things out of Microsoft today about this. They were talked about, plans. Everybody's worried that Bethesda games are now going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC and whatnot. But Xbox Chief Financial Officer Tim Stewart was given an interview, and he said they're going to encourage cross-platform play. It's good for the gaming ecosystem, so it's good for them. All rising tide lifts all boats, that kind of stuff. But he did say that he is going to want that content in the long run to perform better on Microsoft platforms. And he wants Microsoft platforms to be the best place to go to play those games. So that's almost like, these companies that are now under Microsoft, yeah, they're going to be doing crossplay under Microsoft for Sony. Are they going to make it a little worse?
Well, what I can see, and I'm sorry, my brain just kind of stroked out there.
No,
but
don't say.
What I see happening is the same thing that has happened in the past. It's not going to be exclusives. They're not going to make these games exclusive to Xbox or exclusive to whatever console. They're going to do, you get this first. It's going to come out 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month before you can get it anywhere else. And they're going to force the hand of companies like PlayStation to play ball when it comes to crossplay, because Sony has been very unwilling to play ball when it comes to crossplay. They were late adopters when it came to Fortnite. In fact, I believe, are they still having issues with Sony when it comes to Fortnite crossplay? I don't even know. I haven't kept up with that in a while. But
I thought Fortnite and Apex were Fortnite and PUBG were the big ones that Sony was reluctant to offer crossplay with.
Yeah,
and they did.
Well, I mean, either way, they were extremely reluctant, and it took them a while after Switch or Nintendo, who is notorious for locking down their systems. Microsoft and Steam were like, okay, nope, y'all can just play together, whatever. Or the Epic Store in the case of Fortnite. Okay, well, y'all can just play together. You're good.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody knows why that is. It's because Microsoft owns Windows 10, which is the PC gaming platform, and Microsoft owns Xbox. So cross-platform between Xbox and Microsoft Windows, that it just seems good. It does seem good for their gaming economy, and they're not exactly struggling with Xbox sales or anything like that. And there's a healthy combination or a healthy synergy between Xbox and PC. Sony, on the other hand, has the PlayStation. That's what they got. And they need to sell PlayStation units because their gaming, the last time I checked Sony's quarterly reports, their gaming division was the only thing that was in the black. Because if anyone has seen Sony Studios, the movies or TV productions that they're putting out, they're not doing great.
Yeah, they have been kind of hot garbage.
But anyway, I would say if I agree with you. I don't think they'll make anything exclusive to Xbox, but it wouldn't surprise me if some of these games were exclusive to Xbox and PC.
Yeah.
So they've got those two corners of the market. So
well, for the longest time, the quote unquote battle in the gaming world has been PC master race versus console peasants, and now Microsoft is able to say, like, listen, we're home for both. You can have friends who play Xbox and you can play PC, or vice versa, and you can play games together, and we're here to support that. And that's fucking smart. That's real smart, because that was always the biggest divide. It's, like when I was a kid, there were friends groups defined by what consoles people had. Like, this group of kids plays Nintendo, this group of kids plays Xbox games. I remember that, like, they were the kids who, like, they all had PlayStations. They all played sports games together. And then, it's going to be interesting to see what Microsoft does in terms of exclusivity or potential timed exclusivity, like Epic does with some titles. It will be interesting to see. But that kind of segues into our next story, that Xbox is on the hunt for, even after this big acquisition of Bethesda and everybody else, they're still on the hunt for new studios, new games. Head of Xbox Studios, Phil Spencer, was saying that they're just going to keep investing, new games, new content. They're going to keep building out their library. They are really going all in, and it seems now, and Leadus can tell us what, because he's big on Xbox Game Pass. So, like, it's almost to the point where when we use the term Xbox, we need to think beyond the console and start thinking about the game library.
It's Microsoft.
Exactly.
It's not Xbox anymore. It's Microsoft. That includes the Xbox and includes Windows 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, Linus, what did you want to ask about the Play Store, Omega?
Well, no, just what Spencer was talking about in terms of just wanting to add more content, and just me thinking what that'll mean for Xbox Game Pass, and it's just wanted to you've been using it a lot lately, and certainly more than any of the rest of us. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, and also your thoughts on the size of the library and whether you think it should be bigger or just.
I mean, there's a ton of like really cool games on the Game Pass. I feel like it's one of the best streaming services that you can. I mean, subscription services in the gaming world that you can get right now. And there's like a bunch of games that I've been wanting to play that are on Steam that I've like, I'll just wait until it comes on Game Pass, and there's a whole bunch. And now with if you're actually a console gamer, with EA coming onto there as well, it really does make it like such an attractive package for anyone. You can pretty much an attractive package.
You're an attractive package.
I think we all know that there's many attractive packages here.
Anyway, so yeah, they've got a very attractive package nowadays.
And Christmas is coming soon.
One of those attractive packages is Phil Spencer. Look at that face. Look at that man. Zero, browser zoom in on that man's smile.
Okay.
Good lord. Control zoom.
Control mouse wheel.
Control mouse wheel, yeah.
Quick little add-on before we continue on to stories. New game, speaking of, coming to PC. Halo 4. Halo 4 is hitting the Master Chief Collection on PC tomorrow. It's Tuesday, the 17th, for the 3 people who might listen to this in the future.
That man is a giant sausage.
And Doc is stuck on Phil Spencer. No, that's I mean, honestly, Halo 4 is where I got my start with first-person shooter gaming. If we're being 100% honest, the people I was living with at the time, or that I was roommates with at the time, talked me into getting my own Xbox. Said, you need to get this so that we could play together, so that you're not just hanging out down in your room playing Warcraft all the time. So I got an Xbox, canceled my Warcraft subscription, started playing Halo 4. And now I'm no longer playing Halo at all, and I'm back to playing Warcraft. It's a vicious cycle, folks. Don't fall into it.
Yeah. So Halo 4 coming out pretty soon, which means Omega, you and I gotta finish Halo 3, which isn't, you know what, as beautiful games as they are, they seem to go pretty quickly. Maybe it's just because we're such pro gamers.
Well, it's also one of the complaints about the Halo franchise, which is also a complaint that mirrors the first-person shooter landscape over time, is that the campaigns got shorter and shorter, and the games got more and more focused on multiplayer and like online multiplayer. And so the later Halos, the campaigns get a little more condensed, and a lot more of the effort of development was focused on multiplayer. And now that kind of takes us to where we are today, where you have games like Call of Duty, and people are like, yeah, I finished the campaign in like 2 sittings, because the whole game is designed to be played online multiplayer. Yeah, Shiva, me too, man. My introduction to first-person shooters was GoldenEye on the N64, and that game is all campaign. There's four-way split screen. That was a joke, and it was hilarious to play with friends. It was a blast, but like the genesis of first-person shooters in modern gaming, at least, I know it wasn't the first, but what really kicked off that generation of first-person shooters was all about a campaign. And then you get Perfect Dark, all about a campaign. And then you get Halo 1, before there was online gaming, all about the campaign. Cool side note, though, Halo 1, you could network multiple Xboxes together and play more than just 4 versus 4. And there were people who figured out how to actually do that over the internet. So there was like unofficial multiplayer online for Halo 1. But I digress. So you are not wrong, Doc. The stories do get short, but I will say I'm excited. Like, I'm loving Halo 3 right now. It feels really good. It feels more modern. It feels like we're getting back into a modern game versus Halo 2. Perfect Dark Zero Dawn was terrible, Shiva. What was I saying? I'm really enjoying this, but I'm excited for ODST, Doc. I think you're gonna like ODST. The story is real good.
Probably will. Which is that's the thing that I get out of most first-person shooters these days. The only reason why I play them and enjoy them is, one, I'm doing it with a friend, or two, it's got a really good story. The gameplay to me in a first-person shooter isn't really that compelling anymore. I'm a heretic. I'm fine with it. But, yeah.
No, you're not wrong. One of the things that kind of bums me out about the current generation of games, dude, once in a while, I'll watch like a YouTube video or clips or like stream clips or whatever of Apex, and that is a beautiful game. That is a beautiful first-person shooter, a beautiful game. What I would give for a 20-hour campaign made by that studio. But that's not what makes money right now. What makes money is multiplayer and, first-person shooter battle royales. So it's kind of a shame that it looks like this generation, like as time goes on, campaigns are dying off, and it's all about the next big innovations and what changes competitive multiplayer. And it's kind of a shame.
I'd just like to acknowledge the deep reference that Shiva made in chat to Pope Urban II. Well done, Shiva. Nobody knows what we're talking about, but that's fine. Halo 4, fuck yeah. Will unlock Tuesday, November 17th at 10 a.m. Pacific time.
And that's actually a perfect time to do it. Especially if you've got people who are Warcraft players, but they do play Halo on the side, because Blizzard is doing a 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. maintenance tomorrow. So that's dropping dead smack in the middle of that. So, yeah.
I'm going to guess that's coincidence, but it might be a happy coincidence for Microsoft. Anybody out there who does listen and has Master Chief Collection on Steam, do remember that the Master Chief Collection will download an update when the new one drops. But that update is only to let the Master Chief Collection program know that it needs to download the actual game.
So you need to go into the game
and manually go into Master Chief Collection and say, hey, fucker, download this game. Doc and I have made that mistake. We've gone like, hey, let's play Halo. Oh, yeah.
7 gigabyte download. Oh, all right. I guess we're not playing that game for a couple minutes. Who? And then we, start looking at Warframe stuff, and we get wrapped up in that, and we end up playing Warframe. Or GTA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes.
There's no wrong answer. Yes.
You guys remember the Twitch DCMA bloodbath we talked about a couple weeks back?
Everybody remembers Twitch DMCA bloodbath.
Got some. Twitch has apologized. They've pulled the South Park. We're sorry. We're sorry. But they're not actually offering any solutions, or it's.
It is.
I read those articles, and yes, shocker, I read articles before the podcast. And just like the whole thing just felt like we had to do this because of legal reasons, and we were planning to apologize the entire time. That's just how it felt to me.
Well, if you look at the end of this article, Twitch is basically saying we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. They say until May of this year, Twitch streamers receive fewer than 50 music-related DCMA notifications each year on Twitch. Beginning in May, however, the major record labels started sending in thousands of DCMA notifications a week that targeted creators' archives for snippets of tracks in years-old clips. So they're basically saying, okay, they're sending these in and we're just bending over backwards and just giving in to all of them. So they're like, sorry, this happened, and we're not doing anything to help you guys because we're lazy, and we're going to apologize, and you guys have to eat the penalties. Oh. And what's really shitty is it's clear that this is just the record labels. Someone just developed a fucking algorithm to scrub through old clips.
That's absolutely.
At some point, like in May, the record companies launched an algorithm that does nothing but scrub all the old videos on Twitch. Every Twitch clip, every save, and they scrub through it, look for sound clips, and sent out thousands and thousands of these DCMA notifications. It's probably purely automated.
Well,
did Twitch actually create the technology themselves? And then they said that they're going to create technology to help the streamers as well.
Oh, sorry. Did I laugh? Did that happen? I'm sorry.
They made the technology that allowed the corporations to the music corporations to get the copyright strikes in the first place. And they said they're sorry about that.
Well,
what do you mean?
Like, sorry.
They allow them to
utilize that to
file the claim.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they have the tools there to allow them to file the claim, but I'm saying they still have to find the infringing videos.
Yeah.
So I thought that was made simpler for them to find the infringing videos.
No, I think what was made simpler is just the ability to report.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Violations. So they basically added a report for copyright violations button kind of thing, and they designed the system to be that the burden of proof is on the accused rather than the accuser.
Well,
and the core of the issue.
And the big thing is you've got massive streamers like Tim the Tatman and Pokimane, as much as I hate to mention her on this channel.
Clearly, those are the only two Twitch streamers who came to name. So
yeah,
you may say you don't want to bring her up, but clearly she's on your mind.
Well,
continue.
But they've had to go back through and they're deleting years worth of memories and history that they've made with their communities because Twitch is not helping them out. They are instead instead of creating a way for partners to go in and find these videos that have violated the DMCA laws, the company has just said, okay, here is a mass delete tool that allows you to delete from X date to X date, and there's no selection process.
Well, here's the other thing. This is an important detail. This article that you have pulled up in front of you includes tweets, and one of them is from Wes Keltner. It says, "Can you get DMCA strike for in-game music?" Yes, it happened. Let's discuss. So it's not just people that used bits of copyrighted music, and even that is in dispute because people had videos deleted for using royalty-free music or music that they had a license to. People had clips deleted that had in-game music that was attached to a game, which, again, it doesn't mention whether or not that was actually copyrighted game music that was only licensed to the game. I know some games do that, like City Skylines, and those games carry an advisory saying, you probably shouldn't listen to the following radio channels, if you're streaming this, because there might be a copyright violation there somewhere. But all of that aside, Twitch has completely failed to give any sort of recourse to any of the people that it deleted the videos from. That's my main takeaway from this whole thing. Twitch didn't send them a warning and say, do something about the following clips that have been identified. Twitch just deleted them. So there's no way for people who had the rights to music that they were playing or knew that the music that they were playing was royalty-free or anything like that. There's no way for them to dispute any of these claims. Videos are just gone. So that's my takeaway. And Twitch is sorry about that? Yeah, fine. Hi, Twitch, I know we're streaming on you. Fuck you.
Pretty much. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, it's been nice. No.
Yeah, delete Zera's channel.
No, but, I mean, I found the Monster Cat app that is built into OBS and is literally made by Twitch, and they have a streaming channel on the Monster Cat app that allows them to, or that is nothing but royalty-free music that is allowed on Twitch. The playlist is curated by Twitch. So, and it updates daily. So, as much as nice as it is to have that music, I would like to have music that I personally recognize and identify with. Yes, the music that plays is good. It is, by standards, it is good. but the music that I would like to be able to play on stream would be better. But we can't because, oh, well, you're playing our music. Well, we want you to make sure that you pay us for that. And as nice as it is to be able to do that, normal people don't have the money to pay for those type of licenses.
No, it's also ridiculous when you have so many games that pay license fees to record companies to use music in the game, but that doesn't include a broadcast license, which is what you would technically need to play that music on your stream. So you can get DCMA'd for
playing a
game. And that's led to some pretty hilarious protests in the last week or two.
Oh yeah, let's get to the protest article, but that
segue.
So we got gamers out there, or we got streamers out there playing games on mute. Some of them using the hashtag DCMA sound off. And there's this great video here on this website. Shout out to a Twitch streamer Chainbrain here, playing Rocksmith on mute. Because
play the video, Zero.
Like it's just
oh no, it is muted. That's the thing. The whole video is muted.
Yeah, I mean, put the volume on there so you can hear him grunting. It's actually pretty funny. It's just so absurd.
That's hilarious.
And like, it's a really fucked up situation when you've got these, and it's so fucked up that the music industry decided to just do this crackdown out of nowhere, and
sounds just wildly inappropriate.
It's just so ridiculous. And I love the protests, though.
I love the Resident Evil 2 one where Guy's making the zombie noises.
Can we turn the fan on? Alright, Twitch chat, this...
Well, and that's funny because, it's not just copyrighted music being used in games that's causing strikes. There's one guy who's saying he got a copyright strike, a DCMA takedown, because a grandfather clock chime sound in a game was copyrighted as a sound effect. So, yeah, Doc, you're a graphics artist. Just as even you have to clear when you use stock imagery. You have to find the rights of that stock imagery. There are stock sounds.
I know there are stock sounds. I have a library of about 1 million of them.
Yeah,
but at what point? Okay, so if Vanilla Ice can be so spectacularly stupid that he admits to copyright infringement, and then a court finds that he's totally fine because he added in one note to a riff, then my grandfather clock that I have downstairs, if it goes off in the background, somebody hears it. What if the pitch is just slightly off? What if the timing is just slightly off from a stock image? What the fuck what's the boundary? What is the definition of? I don't even know how to quantify that. That's just stupid. The whole everybody knows dun 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 dun, and all the rest of that. If that series of notes is copyrighted, how? And copyrighted by who? The people who own Big Ben? How is London not paying somebody royalty at least 12 times a day?
It's too big for them to handle.
Hey-o.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, I'm looking at this DCMA takedown notification that someone gave. Here, let me send you this link, Zero, so you can put it on stream.
Send it on through.
Why is my internet stupid? But yeah, he's talking about it's about the notice that he got for the sound, and it says grandfather clock strikes 12 SFX from Dr. Sound FX at 6 minutes into the video, And it does specifically say you cannot appeal for the following reasons. In-game audio or music in games may still be separately copyrighted or for limited uses. So yeah, you have no protection for against DCMAs just for playing a game. It is now on the streamer to find out if the noises, if the music in a game or the sound effects even in a game have been cleared for streaming.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
You know, I've noticed some games recently actually saying somewhere on their website or whatever, like, to streamers, you are free to stream and make videos and monetize this to your heart's content. Now I understand why. Like, I didn't realize there were some games out there that you can't do that with. And that's ridiculous.
Well, it's like there was my sister has been streaming the Kingdom Hearts, the new Melody game that they just put out. I am afraid for her because she is playing that on stream, and God knows Disney will DMCA the shit out of people. And you know, she loves playing those games. She loves the Kingdom Hearts games. She has loved the Kingdom Hearts games since she was a kid and the first one came out. And if that were to happen and she was to get DMCA'd for that, she would break down. It would literally destroy her entire vision of what Disney is. And of course, you know, me looking at it, oh, Disney's a corporation. Disney going to Disney. But
you mean the like Nazi sympathizing, like anti-Semitic, like that Disney?
No, not that Disney.
The Disney that regularly like buries fucking little schoolhouses for painting a mural with Mickey Mouse on it.
Also, you're not allowed to make your own Star Wars movies anymore.
Fucking Disney is a horrible corporation.
And I agree. I agree completely. And you know, the issue is the way that, you know, it's a partnership between Square and Disney, and Square's not that bad when it comes to their DMCA and copyright takedowns. They could care less. It's free advertising for them. Disney, on the other hand, Disney will shit on you and not even think twice.
No, Disney has one of the most extensive and expensive legal teams probably in the world. Like, I would imagine that Disney's legal team rivals oil companies' legal teams.
Oh yeah,
fuck yes.
No doubt.
Oh my god, yes, with the amount of IP they own these days.
Oh yeah. What was it? What is it said? I don't know if this is a joke or not, but Disney could technically secede from the United States and start its own country.
Wouldn't surprise me none. They can have Florida.
I don't know if Disney would want Florida. I don't know if Disney would want Florida. I mean, on any given day.
They'd be the only ones to be able to handle that dick of a peninsula.
Oof.
God, what's going to happen with GTA? Because, like, the GTA radio stations have nothing but copyrighted music. If you ever want to stream GTA, you can't fucking play the music.
Yeah, you just have to
get in your car.
Yeah, right. The only times I've ever seen people streaming GTA or doing GTA gameplays for videos or anything like that, they pretty much have muted the game audio, and they don't listen to the radio ever. I don't think I've ever heard anybody playing the radio on GTA, watching one of their videos. I just want to say also in this article, if you scroll down just below the one that you're at right now, Zero, Bloody Drongo tweeted out, "Since Twitch has recommended the game audio and music now be muted, I hope y'all are prepared for the age of Drongo produced sound effects and music. And we're live with more RimWorld now. This dude played RimWorld with his own sound effects and music."
Oh, can we play this?
That's fucking awesome.
See, I'm gonna like this because I know for a fact that RimWorld, like the developer, is one of the coolest fucking guys in the world and would never do this. So that just makes this protest even better for me.
Ring, 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 ring.
I might have to go look for that video of that. find a VOD of that stream because that sounds hilarious.
He just did ring.
Yeah, the
banana phone. That's great.
Hey, Doc, you want to wrap it up with some tech talk?
We definitely could.
Tech talk.
Oh, you don't want to talk about how Ubisoft Montreal got swatted?
Oh, right, yeah. Ubisoft Montreal got swatted. There's not really much to talk about there. I just thought that would be funny to mention.
Yeah,
like,
story.
Yeah.
Cool story,
These poor
bros.
people. This is not the first time that Ubisoft Montreal has. They've been having a tough time. Their field office. I recognize this building, and I remember some story that we covered a while ago, maybe a year ago, where they were having a tough time. And this really isn't funny, but it's kind of fucking funny. So Ubisoft Montreal evacuated after a 911 hostage call. So the SWAT team showed up. The whole building was evacuated. Cops went in, found nothing untoward. And this was just like somebody being a cockwit.
Yeah, I mean, that's just swatting. That's just all it is.
I know, but it's
streamers all the time, and it's crazy to hear that it's happening to now a video game fucking developer.
There was a fucking fad of this going on a while ago where streamers were getting swatted, and I can't believe
it still happens.
Still, I mean, that's not. I'm sorry. I'm from the 4chan generation. We come up with this retarded, or other people did for legal reasons. Other people, not me, came up with this retarded shit, and then they did it for a while, and then they moved on to the next gag.
No,
you don't keep on doing it. It's not funny anymore.
I have heard multiple streamers, talking about when they have moved to a new area. One of the things that they have to do is go to the local police and explain to them what they do and who they are, and that this is a thing that happens. Like, it is a thing that streamers do. They go to the local cops and say, hey, just so you guys know, people on the internet might think it's hilarious to call in a hostage situation or some shit at my house.
Luckily, one, I'm not big enough to have to deal with this. Two, I actually have friends who work for the local police department. So they know that I'm on here because they actually follow me on here. Between this and streaming on Facebook. But it is sad that it happens, and it is doubly sad when somebody dies because of it. And then, trying to figure out and press charges against the person who is guilty of, who is guilty of doing this.
Time.
Well, wasting the police's time and then being pretty much, accessory to murder at that point?
At that point, yeah.
I mean, it happened. It happened. This dude got shot. This was, a year or two ago? Dude, I mean, and I'm sure it's happened many times since then, but this one actually gained national traction because it was actually somebody who was famous got swatted, and they went to the wrong house and shot a guy. The cops shot a guy. Come on.
I mean, yeah.
Quit this shit.
Swatting,
Quit it.
Swatting in general is it's a dick thing to do.
And it's a doubly dick thing to do with how
That's not cool.
Sorry.
All right then.
We're gonna get so many DMCA strikes on your channel tonight, Zero.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna have to wade through that paperwork.
Maybe it's just a 3 strikes and you're out.
Well, if that's the case, I'm moving to YouTube, and then I'll get 3 strikes there, and then I'll move to Facebook, and I'll do one thing there and get kicked off.
We'll start our own streaming channel with hookers and blackjack
and cocaine.
Hello?
Another little quick hit story I found: Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. They're trying to get rid of stream sniping. They've set up some new options. You can do delays on matchmaking. You can have your username in game be scrambled or changed to a code name, stuff like that. But on the one hand, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. But on the other hand, I really love videos of watching streamers freak out when they get stream sniped over and over again.
My code name would be Horse Foreskin.
Of course it would. I think the best stream snipe ever. And I still watch the compilations to this day. Is Wings of Redemption. God, that dude freaks the hell out, and it is great.
Well, I also like when streamers just lose and get tilted and try and blame stream snipers, and then everybody in chat's like, "Nah, bro, you just got beat."
Yeah. Get good, kid.
Oh, good times.
All right, now do you want to wrap with some tech talk, Doc?
Now we can wrap up with some tech talk. Well, the first thing here that was put on was an article that you did, Omega. AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT will give the RTX 3090 big problems. Here's the proof. So I'm not sure if you'd like to go over this, because I'm not up on the cards, but I'm very up on the processor.
Well, really, just the news is that on Wednesday, the 6800 and the 6800 XT are dropping. And Tom's did some bench testing, and they found that the 6800 XT is doing pretty damn good. It is performing when you overclock it. You can overclock it, and it gets performance close to the 3090. So I don't know. I'm just enjoying seeing these new gen GPUs coming out and shaking things up. It's gonna be fun few months to see who ends up on top and is like the champion going into Cyberpunk 2077.
Wait, what is this? How much is this costing? Cheaper, affordable, like $500 for an RX 6800?
$650.
$650? It's not terrible.
And how much is the? And how much is the?
700.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, Leetness.
18,000? Just keep on going up, Leetness.
No, 700 for the RTX 3080. I knew that was coming after.
Somebody's done their research, and I find it sexy.
But the one thing to note there is the bus speeds on Nvidia's is better than what's on the AMD. I mean, the AMD's memory bus is 256 bit versus the RTX 3080 at 320. So although there's higher speeds and more memory, the bus speeds are faster on Nvidia.
Wonder which is going to be more important.
Typically, I mean, you want a faster bus to cart your memory around.
Everybody wants that bus speed, man. Everyone's all about that bus. No cache.
I guess the question is the bus speed on the NVIDIA going to be a bottleneck, or is the bus speed on the... Wait, which one did you say was higher? NVIDIA? Yeah, okay, so NVIDIA's higher. So is the RTX bus speed going to be a bottleneck, or is the NVIDIA bus speed more than it even needs?
It will for sure, but the difference is that the AMD's got a 16 gig memory versus the NVIDIA's 10. So that's a big deal.
Well, for 4K gaming, yeah, it is. But also, what's the price differential? I used an SAT word.
Hey. Use the price differentialization.
My balls are huge.
If it means the ones that are in your skull, yes, they are very big.
Yes.
I have very big brain balls.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Lord.
You clip that. Oh God.
Note to Niggle later when you're editing this. Clip that out.
That's going on the soundboard later.
That'll be around for a while.
Oh, that was perfect. Thank you, Leetness, for being here tonight.
Thank you.
God,
God.
So
yes.
So anyway, yeah, the thing here is that these cards seem like pretty fucking OP, and they're in direct competition with NVIDIA. And yeah, fine, they have lower onboard memory. It's DDR. Is it still DDR5 or is it DDR6? This article is not saying.
DDR6.
Okay, yeah. Big DDR6. Sorry, Grande DDR6.
And then NVIDIA's the GDDR6X.
Ooh,
Cool.
because
Oh my
it's
God.
because it's
Oh.
extreme.
Big PP.
Hashtag big
is
PP.
Range is over. Oh, thank God I'm not wearing pants.
Yes, they might not be able to restrain you.
That's right.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, never mind. It's an old joke. Really old joke. Never mind. So anyway, these cards are coming out. They're in direct competition with NVIDIA. The memory size might be a little bit smaller on the RTX cards, but the 16 gig onboard memory for most of these cards is geared towards 4K gaming, and 4K gaming textures for shit that is presumably not terribly well optimized. Because at the same time that 4K gaming is coming out, new compression algorithms are coming out for graphics. And the reason that I have any qualification to speak about this whatsoever is because of Warframe and what's happening right now called the Great Insmallening. They're taking all the textures, the game textures, they're repackaging them with new compression algorithms, and they're reducing the overall game size by something insane like 16 gigabytes, and they're not losing any quality whatsoever. So
Doc,
smaller.
you've already sold me on Warframe. You don't have to continue trying.
Yeah, all right, yeah, fair enough. But the whole thing is, yeah, 4K
It's the only
graphics-
time where something small is made attractive.
Oh.
Acceptable.
And the graphics can be shrunk down. They can make it onto the 10 gigabytes. Not really a problem for me. But it's nice, as Omega said, to see AMD competing with Intel and to offer competitive prices for people that are building new PCs, because NVIDIA selling a card for like $1,700 is fucking ridiculous. Selling a card, I think the 1080s or the 1080 Ti's that are almost 2 years old at this point are still going for like $900 to $1,000. That's
So
fucking
crazy.
insane.
So crazy.
So yeah, more power to AMD. Keep on putting out these cards. This shit's kick ass. I'm not even going to get into, or I'm not even going to ask about how hot these cards run, because AMD notoriously runs hot.
Yes,
But-
they do.
So hot.
I will say that some of the specs of this article are looking pretty good. There was a leak, or some imagery from they did the 3-mark Time Spy benchmark test, and the 6800, not the XT, the 6800 beat the 3070 by a good margin, and it's much cheaper. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can outperform and come in cheaper than the 3070, and then see where the 6080 XT stands up to on the higher end. Yeah, it's kind of fun watching these two companies go back and forth. Man, I feel like GPUs have really gotten a lot better very rapidly recently. And
Well-
I think that, like, I feel like the time between when I built my computer through like 2 years ago was kind of like a steady, slow, but not very dramatic increase. And then about 2 years ago, it was just like generation after generation all of a sudden coming out and just making crazy shit.
Honestly, the explanation for that is twofold. First of all, yes, graphics cards do get better, new generations do come out. It's marginal. The difference between my 770s running SLI and a 1080 was almost non-existent. And then, the 1080 Ti comes out, and then the big breakaway from the GTX series was the RTX series, the 2080s. That was a big deal because of they were geared towards 4X gaming and also raycasting, which I'm not even sure a lot of games use at this point still. But GPU manufacturers, as gaming and streaming has gotten more popular, have really had to address a problem. And the problem is that their technology upgrades are marginal. So they need to create this atmosphere where people think that, wow, shit's getting really intense, really better, really fast. So you have the RTX 2080 that came out, the RTX 2080 Founders Edition, the TI, the RTX 2060, the RTX 2070. And then 6 months after that, we have the 380 series. We have this like brand new thing, all this onboard memory. It's like so much better. Yeah, in reality, the performance that you're seeing from card to card to card, with the exception of the jump from 1080p to 2x to 4x gaming, the card, the amount of horsepower of the car has been marginal as they've been going up. That's not to say that cars today aren't way better than they were 2 years ago. That's just how technology increases. But they still have this problem where, like, we're kind of running out of space. We can't really make things very much smaller. We're having to focus on, like, completely redoing architecture and squeezing as much out of these things as we possibly can. So NVIDIA will always have its commercial line of the GTX and the RTX. Now it's just the RTX series. They will always have their line of really specialty cards where you can get something that has like 100 gigs of onboard memory and some fucking insane amounts of horsepower. And that's specifically geared towards AI learning. And RTX now is catching up, and they'll always have their commercial line, and they'll always have their experimental line too. So, long story short, yeah, cards are better, but don't get sucked into that. Don't believe what they want you to believe. This has turned into the Alex Jones podcast. Why do we keep bringing him up in chat?
They're putting fluoride in the water, and it's turning the fucking frogs gay. Sorry.
I don't get into religious or spiritual or alien shit.
Sorry.
The thing that I like about seeing all these just new breakthroughs in GPUs is knowing that the previous generation will soon be cheaper, so I can upgrade.
That's what I was hoping to. That's why I brought up the 1080 Ti. Really hoping that by now it wouldn't still cost $1,000. It does.
Listen, you know what though? If that shit doesn't come down, I might just spend $500 on a new Radeon 6800, knowing that it's not the best, but I also don't have a 4K monitor, don't do 4K gaming, will be more than happy with that. And It'll last me for another 5 years.
Look, I just want to play City Skylines at max resolution with 5,000 assets and 120 mods at 60 FPS.
That's because you're a graphics snob.
I am. It's true. That's all I want to do.
You like it pretty and pointing high into the sky.
Eliteness, you wearing pants? Turn on your webcam.
Come on, guys. Knock it off.
Due to standards, we will not be showing this video in chat.
God. So yeah, anyway, speaking of redesigning on the same track of the AMD graphics cards, the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, their new top-tier processor, released on November 5th, remember, and it has completely sold out. I couldn't find it dicking around on most stores. And one of the reasons why it's so fucking good is because they have redesigned, and Siri, if you pull this article up for the 5900X processor, scroll down to the Zen 3 architecture diagram. They redid how cores request and transfer data back and forth. So they have something for Zen 2 architecture where there's L3 cache between CPU cores, and if the cores are paired 4 and 4, if 4 of those cores need to request cache from the other 4 cores, they need to do it across something called Infinity Fabric. So it has to communicate with a different cluster through the input-output die. And that's really slow compared to just accessing local cache. The reason why this is significant is because the Zen 3 architecture, which the 5900X has, all 8 cores share not 2 16 megabyte L3 caches. They share one 32 megabyte L3 cache. so they can all coordinate between each other much, much faster. The result of this is a turbo mode on a fucking gaming processor of 4.9 gigahertz. So
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that in these processors, there's something called Infinity Fabric?
that's what AMD calls it.
That sounds like a bad Marvel movie.
Yes, it does. Completely agree.
Well,
Doctor
Infinity
Strange and
Gauntlet
the
was
Infinity
taken.
That sounds like the sequel, the Infinity Fabric. It's the lining of the gauntlet.
Avengers Endgame, Infinity Fabric.
Just a fashion show with Wanda.
Zero, who wears the tightest clothing in the Avengers?
I love that you asked him.
Why did you do this to me?
That's why he did that.
That's exactly why I did it, because now he's making me think about it. I would have to say Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, no, definitely the tightest.
I was thinking
No,
Chris
Captain
Evans.
America.
No,
I'm pretty sure there's a guy who wears tighter clothes.
Captain America wears it. Have you seen?
I mean, that is America's ass. That is America's ass. But have you watched Iron Man 2? Her in that bodysuit. Oh my god.
I think you're gay.
My wife would tell you otherwise.
Black Panther. As
Black
well.
Panther, yeah.
Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, my friend.
Yeah, Black Panther and Captain America, both very toit.
Sweet like a tiger,
Zero.
yes.
Yeah, Zero on the stream browser. Why don't you pull up Rule 34 of Captain America and Black Panther?
I will not do that.
There's got to be some rule. I mean, if you want to do it, I will.
There is slash fic of everything.
Oh god.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you will, and I have absolutely zero doubt in my mind that you will. I'm just not willing to get my stream taken down for pornography. We're only 4 episodes in, Doc.
Oh, there's some really nice stuff here.
Oh my god.
There's one where they're both bound and gagged inside the trunk of a car, but someone has done them the favor of removing their pants.
Oh, how kind.
Probably because it gets so hot in there.
This is great.
You know the rule. The Church of Chonkwij does not support the wearing of pants.
And
So we wholeheartedly endorse this.
And I completely agree. However,
the Rule 34 that I like is when everybody's getting some, and nobody's left out. There's one here of Black Panther and Thor and Captain America and Thanos. It looks like they're having a great time.
I could have done without the Thanos, but the rest of it sounded solid.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's one with all of them and Hulk. Everybody's getting some in this one.
Old nutsack Chin is just not attractive.
That makes who has the tightest would be Vision, because his outfit is basically
is essentially his skin. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I was
true.
thinking about that because I think Wanda and Vision are like the cutest couple ever.
Wait,
And
does
the
Vision
hottest.
Does Vision have a dick? Does he fuck?
I would assume so. He and Wanda were getting it on. I mean, I'd be the cream in that sandwich.
But isn't he-
Hello.
I didn't think that he was like, he doesn't. Because of how he was created, why would he have genitals? Like, it's the same question. Does he have an asshole? He doesn't eat. Why would he? Does he have a belly button? He wasn't born that way. Why would he? These are all questions that we really need answers to.
Well, then I guess we know our homework assignment.
Okay,
Next week with the answers.
So at this point, we need to message Disney and ask them the hard questions.
Oh,
Literally.
I see what you did there.
Is that acceptable? I believe so, yes.
You have to ask it, isn't it?
That's not Marvel, but I'm just going to throw out for honorable mention here Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique, because her costume was literally painted on.
That's true.
Like,
That is true. I was just trying to pick all the men though, so that I could make Zero feel uncomfortable.
You're not going to make me feel uncomfortable.
You've got an
he's
answer.
fully
For
embraced
that.
his gayness.
Unlike former members of this podcast or of other podcasts, I am not at all uncomfortable with anything.
Alrighty, and then
I mean, if you want us to whip out the hard stuff, we will whip out the hard stuff for
All
you.
right.
Alrighty. So yeah, that was pretty much the whole. I could talk about the processor more, but the point is that it's bigger and better, and it started off at about $550, then it went up to about $650, $700 as it sold out. So hopefully, when the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X comes back on the market, it will be an enormous competitor to Intel i9 or whatever i10.
Nice.
we shall see.
My next build is probably going to be all AMD.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. I know your current build is perhaps getting to the point where upgrading is no longer viable.
I'm good. I'm still good for like at least another 5 years.
Well, yeah, but what I mean is that like you're getting to a point where your next step is likely going to be a ground up rebuild or ground up build from the scratch.
Yeah, for the next in the next 5 years, or after the next 5 years, yeah, probably it will be a ground up. One more thing worth mentioning about this processor is a really nice component about it is that it is backwards compatible with both 400 and 500 series motherboards. They're planning on releasing firmware for 400 series motherboards to make it fully compatible, but that's probably going to come out in January. So AMD is considering people who are upgrading who have a chipset that's last generation but want a better processor. So yeah, that is nice. And I don't think it would be that. I think it would be a lot cheaper actually to do a ground up build from AMD than it would be for Intel, just on a spec for spec basis. So Silas, if you're listening, go AMD, buddy. It's worth the wait.
I'll wait till one of you do it, and when I hear the complaints, I'll decide not whether I should or shouldn't.
I've for a long time been a fan of AMD graphics cards, and will probably stick with them in the future unless pricing drastically changes. But I've always had Intel CPUs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when the time comes, it will be interesting to see if I go all AMD.
Linus, I can tell you the downsides right, or I can tell you the complaints right now. For the graphics cards, the fucking driver updates drive you nuts. For the processors, they run hot. You basically need a water cooler, and you need to be on top of that shit, because the AMD processors always run hot. And the 5900X has no standard cooler. There's nothing that is like, this is what you should use. It's find something really fucking good and pray.
Well, but I mean, aren't Intel cards known for also being like fucking space heaters? I mean, maybe it was just that one generation that I happened to be the generation that I bought. But like my processor is pretty damn powerful, but I know it's got a reputation for generating a lot of heat. But I do have a AIO water cooler, so it's good.
Yeah, Linus, what?
No, there were very specific i7s that ran hot.
Yeah,
one specific gen that was really
like the 7700K, which I am playing on right now.
Yeah, I think it was the 7700 actually. Yeah.
Wait, you have an i7? I thought you had i3 1100 something.
No, my first card was an i3 6100, and then like a couple of years ago, when the 7700 came out, I got the 7700K.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no. My for reference, my 5930K has been running beautifully for years now. God, it's a fucking awesome processor.
I've still got my Voodoo 2 graphics card in.
Oh hell yeah! You know, when people were making games in the late 1990s, they knew that you would never need a graphics card that was not a Voodoo 2. They knew that you would.
Voodoo 2 was the bomb.
You have that in your AGP port.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Yes. Oh wait, that's not the right one.
No!
No, that's not the right one either.
Maybe.
No,
Maybe.
that's not it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one.
Oh god.
I see I'm not needed anymore. Anyway.
All right, yeah, we've been going for a while. We can call it here. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for dropping by the channel for the Church of Chonkwij podcast. We hope you had a good time. We had a good time. We'll see you next time. Here's Zero to take you out.
Guys, appreciate you watching tonight. As Doc said, we appreciate you every week. We will see you next Monday. This upcoming Thursday, we do have another Thirsty Thursday Warframe stream with the Church of Chonkwij players. It hopefully will be all of us that are here. If not, we'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a good evening now.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
More Avengers Rule 34, please.